up, but when you work it back, it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Waifu Views podcast, giving you everything fandom with the side of waifu. We lost one of the waifus, but she will be back. And so I know that y'all have missed us. I keep hearing that y'all missed us. Sorry, we've been away. Because, as we always say, life be lifing, and that's a fact. Life just be lifing. And so we're here on a Sunday. And I'm glad to be back. Are you glad to be back, y'all? It's been a minute.
It almost feels foreign. But yes, I'm happy to be
I feel like it's because I'm not gonna lie. I feel like we probably could have came back. I think every week we were like, we're gonna do a show, and then we're like, no, we're not. We're gonna do a show. Don't worry about it. It's very hard to get back into the routine
of things.
Yeah, it is, especially on a Sunday when you're not typically doing anything else. So, but I'm your girl, Ebony Moonbeam. You can find me at Ebony_Moonbeam on all social media platforms. I'll tell you at the end of the show all the places y'all can find me at, because I be everywhere on the internet. So, waifus, tell them who you are and where they can find you.
Hello all, it is Sunkissed Waifu, but on Facebook it will be Aisha Morgan. Everywhere else, TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, that thing formerly known as Twitter, it will be Sunkissed_Waifu.
And I think I am Honey Shar. I go by A Shar of Honey on all platforms. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. That's A Shar of Honey, like a jar of honey, only sweeter.
Yes.
Alrighty. It actually worked out well because we were originally going to do this episode when the first 4 episodes of Demon Slayer came out, but now that the episode season 5 has ended, we are going to talk about the whole season. So I'm going to let's just start by discussing how we felt about this season overall.
Oh my god. It was a great season. I'm not gonna lie. It was good. We got a little backstory. It was awesome. I can't wait for what comes next. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I still wanted a little more, like just a little more something, but it was definitely good so far.
I'm gonna be honest. I loved this season. The season did everything I needed it to do. This season for me just kind of solidified my thought process of it not being a mid show. And people love to, throw that term around. And I just feel like this season gave a lot. It gave the comedy. Because I was cracking up every episode. I ain't even gonna lie.
Right?
It gave the action. It gave the pristine animation that Ufotable is known for. I just clicked a button on my computer and something just changed. What just happened? I accidentally hit my keyboard and I have no idea what I did. What did I do? Okay. I don't know what I did. Okay. Jeez Louise, y'all. It's been a minute. Like, just don't give us too much. Anyways. So it's a long day. Okay, but if you don't know, which I don't know how you don't know, Demon Slayer, also known as Kimetsu no Yaiba, Blade of Demon Destruction, was a Japanese manga that serialized in the Weekly Shonen Jump magazine from February 2016 to May of 2020. So the manga has been long done, but the anime took the world by storm when it aired in September of 2019. And it's just been going hard ever since. So you can find it still on Crunchyroll. You can find it on Netflix. There's not much anime streaming platforms that do not have Demon Slayer. The casuals know what Demon Slayer is. The people that have never watched anime a day in their life knows what Demon Slayer is. I still, to this day, remember the day that my niece recognized Nezuko from a YouTube video. Because I was like, how do you know this character? Ma'am, you are not old enough to be watching Demons and all of this. And she was like, oh, I watched it on YouTube. I saw a clip. I was like, oh, okay. Cool. Now we're good. I just needed to know because that was a lot. But Demon Slayer has become one of the highest grossing media franchises of all time. The manga itself had over 150 million copies in circulation, including digital versions. And it is considered one of the best-selling manga of all time. So it is definitely going down in history for that. And I believe that when we first started Demon Slayer back in 2019 with season 1, like first off going in, were y'all excited about it? Because I remember seeing the trailer and I was like, oh, this looks good. Because y'all know me, I like the dark shit. I like dark anime. I like blood and gore. So I was here for it instantly. But was that your feeling going in? And if so, once you had season 1, did you feel like it lived up to the expectation that you had going into it?
Sure.
You're saying from the very beginning?
Yeah, very beginning.
Yeah. I mean, the art style alone of Demon Slayer is like beautiful. So just going into it, it definitely lived up to the hype to me. Yeah, like some people had their little gripes about it or whatever, but I really enjoyed it. It was like at the top of my list like the whole time.
I was probably one of those people with gripes because this person here cried so much. I get it. He went through quite a bit with his family, but I was like, how much more can you cry? But like Shar said, the artwork and the animation was beautifully done. So I overlooked the crybaby thing.
I'm not mad at it. I got the crybaby aspect in the beginning. However, I was very lenient about the crybaby stuff because he was young and he had lost his whole family. And I feel like we hold these newer characters to like a different standard because let me tell you, if I heard Naruto scream and say, believe it, like any more than I did, I could have, no, but it was still like annoying. He had his moments. Sasuke was the definition of Aggie. Like there's so many characters out there that have just done the most. And come on. We cannot talk about Tanjiro, but there is Deku. Like
I was going to say Deku.
I am not disputing that, but they are in the same category.
They are not in the same category. I completely disagree. What has Deku been through in Tanjiro experience just on episode 1? Exactly. As long as you know.
I mean, his family wasn't slaughtered. He was still an outcast.
But there are levels to that. There are levels to being an outcast.
I'm saying they're in the same category, though. That category can have levels.
He still made it into a prestigious high school that is UA. So, but let me get off of this because we're talking Demon Slayer today. Because you know I'll go down the rabbit hole for real. So this season follows the Hashira training arc, which they did give us a movie, which was a complete and total waste of time, in my opinion, because it basically just covered the last couple of episodes of the last season and then a little brief portion of what we got this season. So you did not need to see it if you stay up with the show or if you read the manga. But the Hashira training arc starts with episode 1, which really stop being difficult. Move us. There we go. Like, stop fighting me today. Okay, episode 1, it follows Sanemi and Uguru, which are 2 of the Hashiras, along with comrades, headed to an abandoned castle on top of a mountain for a mission. And I want to stop there because that's what you're seeing in the photo. This episode went crazy for me. I loved this because it went straight into it. The animation, the action, the fighting. I felt like they didn't waste any time. They said, this is the second to last season and we gonna spend all our budget.
And to see
So
them work together but not work together.
Right.
That was nice.
Which, if I recall, they are like low-key best friends. At the end of the day, you see them together a lot. If you go back to when Tanjiro first meets the Hashiras, he's the Iguru does defend Sanemi, and stuff like that. So I think that it's nice to see how they work together. When they go into the castle, they're met by demons all over the place, and that is the first time that you see a little peek of the Infinity Castle. So it went full-fledged, and then after that, then we get into Tanjiro being treated at the Butterfly Mansion for his wounds that he suffered in the Swordsmith Village arc. Was there anything that you felt like was missing in episode 1 that you needed, or did you think that with one episode they gave it to us, and I'm glad?
I think they gave us everything they needed to in this episode. It was the opening episode. You know, I don't know how much you necessarily can expect from like a premiere episode or whatever of the season, but I think they hit all the marks they needed to hit on this one.
Mm-hmm. It was a nice intro into the season because once we saw what the season was, they couldn't, like, that would be squeezing too much into the first episode if they gave us more.
Right. I don't know if they really could have given us anything more without it being convoluted.
Exactly.
So then we went into episode 2, which episode 2 and 3 kind of fall into each other. Episode 2, I would probably say was one of the slower episodes because you're just seeing them kind of recover, basically. Inosuke's back up and running. Zenitsu's not too far behind, and we're seeing Tanjiro. He gets a letter, a raven, talking about that he needs to go somewhere and all of that stuff. So it was pretty much a slower episode for me. That was probably the slowest of the whole season.
Actually, yes, comedy.
Comedy gold. It was hilarious.
It was.
I agree. That episode was hilarious. Watching him recover, and yes, just I think that was the first time in a while that we had seen the three guys like kind of interact with each other in and out again, like the main core, the babies. So I was glad that they were there. And I felt like we needed something a little light because the rest of the season, though, like I said, has so much comedy in it. The rest of the season is heavier because you're learning a little bit more about some of these Hashira, and they're training for their lives. They're like, we can't do this no more. It's coming to an end. We have to defeat Muzan. So I thought, though it was a slower episode, I was here for it.
Mm-hmm.
Were you upset that it was a slower episode, or were you just like, meh, whatever?
Meh, whatever. Because, you know me, I like to binge. So once we had so many episodes, it's like, okay, episode 1, boom. Episode 2, got some comedy. Okay, let's keep it moving. There wasn't nothing to really trip me up over.
Yeah, really the main point of episode 2 was just to announce the Hashira training arc, that there was a need for the Hashiras to train the Demon Slayer Corps because they're not equipped to take on this fight. And right now, the only people that are strong enough that we see are the Hashiras and our 3 little babies. And that they can't take on everybody. And so they discussed, the curse mark and the importance of that, how it develops. And I thought it was though there was a lot of comedy, it was information heavy because we didn't really know why the curse mark shows up, what you have to do, the fact that you could potentially that you will lose your life once your curse mark appears after a certain time and stuff, which, you know what? This is just so reminiscent of becoming a Titan, and you can live for like 7 more years after that. It's like with great power comes a
Great
quick death.
responsibility.
No, a quick death. You do not get to live your life out. You do not get to live
like,
your
give it
life
back.
out.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
But I think that's what makes the Hashiras so interesting, because even though they all have their own personal reasons for doing everything that they're doing, they're also all in their own way extremely selfless. And in that episode, they make the decision that they are going to try and get the curse mark so they can succeed. So, touche to you guys. Touche to y'all.
I'd still try and give it back.
Yeah, definitely. I am too. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, because why do I need this? Okay, so episode 3. Well, before I go any farther, one of these things, because we're gonna be putting photos up here. The thing about these episodes is once they get into the Hashira training arc, you're getting an appearance by at least 2 of the Hashira at a time, because for the most part, because you're seeing the beginning of a training with one Hashira, the end of a training or beginning of the training with one Hashira going on to the next stage of the training arc, because they are all required to go and train in different styles and different ways to, I don't know how to explain it. I just don't.
Give them the skills they need to take out Michael Jackson and Demon.
I just realized we're getting so many comments, but I think it's because
there's something weird with it going on. Like it wasn't live.
It's been like that.
Yeah, it was weird. That's why I kept going and checking.
Yeah. Sorry, Trevor. We see y'all. Trevor says, Star didn't leave me today. What's up, Ebony and Aisha? All 3 of y'all are beautiful today. I'm gonna ignore that. We still hate Sasuke. Deku cried after he won, and he's still crying. A killer called him a murderer, and he took it personal. Because for whatever reasons, the comments are not coming through on our ends, though. But we do see y'all, so if you want to post them, we hear y'all. Okay, so episode 3 follows. Oh, actually, let me go back, because one of the things that we forgot is this part is still tied into episode 2. There's a little beef between Tomioka and the Hashiras, because they are under they believe that he believes that he's better than them by some of the things that he says. But after you find out more of his backstory, you realize that he does not believe that he is better. He actually thinks that he's beneath them, and he does not deserve the Hashira title. And so before we finish this episode, we have Tanjiro doing his darndest to be the cutest little patootie on the face of the planet and talk to Tomioka and get him to participate in the Hashira training, because he had refused initially. We find out a backstory when it comes to Tomioka. How did you feel about his backstory? Whoa.
Oh, sad.
Really sad.
Like that, it explains why he acts the way he does.
I like that you realize the connection, why he's kind of he's only soft a little bit with Tanjiro, because Tanjiro reminds him so much of the guy that we lost. And I love it because we kind of circled back to season 1 with I always call them the twins, even though they're not twins. They were just 2 people that were training, the little ghost children. The main ghost child that died or whatever was his best friend, and he was a part of the same
like
the exam. Thank you. I was like, what is happening today? I'm also looking for something because I had it from when we did this, when we were supposed to do this show, and I forgot to pull it up, but I have the breakdown of the specifics of each what everything focused on. Yeah, no, what the training itself was focused on. I had saved it, but I don't know where to put it. And I can only do so many things at a time. So I'm just gonna not worry about it because I can't look for it and cover the show. So, anyways, next up, after Tomioka has a chat with Tanjiro and he decides that he is indeed going to participate in the Hashira arc, then we move on and we get to see none other than his first stop, which ends up being with the former Hashira, which I hate that I have to say former Hashira, Uzui. And baby's still fine. He's still doing his thing.
Absolutely. Oh my
What did we think about this episode?
I was in a trance for this episode. And the way he was moving, oh my God.
Not the trance.
Really though, because you can't tell me it's not mesmerizing. Watch, because he's trying to train these cadets or whatever to build them up. And the way he was like, poof, I'm here, poof, I'm not, poof, I'm over here, and just taking people out. I'm like, oh, you ain't lost it. You may have lost an arm, but you ain't lost it. It was nice.
No, he's still very flashy, and I'm here for it. I love it. I love it so much.
And still in great spirits.
And so basically his training was to just kind of prepare Tanjiro and all of the other Demon Slayers to get ready for all the other Hashiras. And it's sad to see, like, I'm glad that we got to, because I think there was a moment in the episode where he kind of gets really down and he's just kind of like sitting there eating or whatever. He's doing something and he's overthinking because he knows that he can't really help. And then he realizes like the spirit that Tanjiro brings to the whole group and gets them to kind of decide that they are going to work hard and really try and stuff. And then they end up fighting. And that was the first time that we had seen them do that. So it was a good episode. It kind of closed a chapter for us, I think, in a way, while also preparing us for what was going to happen next. So I thought that was definitely worth it.
Yeah.
His chapter will always be open for me.
I'm sure a couple of things would always be open for you when it comes to him.
Man.
I'm just saying. But it's okay because I'm right there with you. I'm with you when you're right.
Yes.
So the next episode we go into is nope, I skipped an episode. Hold on. Let me change the photo real quick. This one. Okay. Y'all see these bad boys right here. So this fight ends up coming closer to the end of the episode, but before that, they basically, after Tanjiro finishes with Uzui, he visits Tokito's residence, which is Muchiro, also known as the person that my wig is made after. And he is supposed to be doing, he is going to undergo rapid movement training, which that's exactly what it was. It was rapid movement training. It was nice to see him. It was nice to see Muchiro because he has definitely brightened up. But then it was funny to see the juxtaposition of the difference between the two. Like when he's dealing with the Demon Slayers compared to when he's dealing with Tanjiro, it's so different. He's still like kind of cold and calculated when it comes to how he does with the rest of the core. And then, but when Tanjiro's there, he like lights up and he's super happy. But over time, he realizes that he can open up more, and that feeling doesn't have to just come from Tanjiro. So, what did we think about this episode?
I just thought it was funny because, like you said, when he saw Tanjiro, he lightened up. When he dealt with the core, they were like, it was stone cold. There's no like leeway, nothing. And then when Tanjiro tells the core, like, hey, he's lightened up, they just like, what you mean he lightened up? Like, it was worse than this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you mean to tell me it can actually be worse than this? I was like, oh, it's okay though. Y'all will survive if you work hard enough. I think the only messed up part about the trainings is because it is Tanjiro. For the most part, we know what he's been through and how many demons he's actually fought. And most of the people he's training with are just regular Joes.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to keep up to a standard that they're not ready for.
It was good to see in each episode, you really see all of them kind of step up. You don't really see a lot of them giving up, and they're like, okay, I got to keep trying. And you see from this this clip, what we see is he comes back. Muchiro keeps coming back, training late, and he's kind of tired and all this stuff. And then we find out once Tanjiro goes to see, we find out that he has been training with the other Hashiras. And this is a clip. This is a snippet of what it happens in that episode. And visually, it was so good. It was so good. So, Shar, I want to bring this to you because you and I, we agreed a lot when it came to the animation episode. And, there's always a big conversation about how Mappa is so great, Mappa this, Mappa that. And I think Demon Slayer, especially in this season, reminded us of why Ufotable is still in the game and at the top of its game. Ufotable, if you guys do not know, also does the Fate series, and it does this, and it was gorgeous. All the colors, you could see the fast movements, which I really liked, because if you think about like the JJK like Shibuya arc, if they got too fast or something like that, it looked very muddled. And I know that there was a lot of controversy about how it was rushed and stuff like that, but I personally do not feel like I ever saw anything in JJK that looked better visually than anything that we've seen in Demon Slayer, especially in this season.
Yeah. I feel like they just, especially just in Demon Slayer alone, they just pay attention to more detail to me. It's
right.
It's beautifully appealing to watch, and it's just like small things are intricate. Like little scenes, little things are very like well planned and well like designed.
Mm-hmm.
So it just makes like you can tell, you know what I mean? It just brings the whole anime together of having that style.
Yeah, which we're gonna get into because the animation on the last episode was crispy. So we're gonna get into that. So we will be talking more animation style. But next up, then Tanjiro goes on to see the Love Hashira, which her training is flexibility training. And this was just pure comedy. Like, how do you go for flexibility training and you start off by making me the most butteriest pancakes on the face of this planet? That's how you started it? Like, that's how you do it?
Fluffy, buttery.
Right.
Fluffy, buttery. She is a gem. I can't get enough of her. But her episode was also one of the slower paced. Well, her training was a little bit of the slower pace. I think this was more for pure comedy because she is somewhat of a comedic character when it comes to the Hashiras as a whole. Did we like that little break, or was that something that we could have did without?
The fact that she tried to break Tanjiro? I mean...
was necessary. She is super flexible.
I think it was like it fit, and it fit her like style, her like the aura she gives. So I mean, I don't think it was like not necessary, but you had to include her. So I felt like it went with the whole vibe of leading up to all the episodes.
I agree. We had already gotten her backstory last season, so we didn't really get to go into that. But I think that it was nice to see her. I think she's clearly a fan favorite, so it was nice to see her, but also to see her training someone else and still being herself. You know, because I wasn't 100% sure if she was like one of those people. Because when she fights demons, she gets extremely serious for the most part. And well, it's almost a complete, I wouldn't say complete day and night to who she is every day, but there is a very visible difference in her personality when she fights compared to when she is just walking around. So I was interested to see if it was going to be like super intense. And I'm glad that she was still kind of like her happy-go-lucky self. That was the word I was looking for. The phrase I was looking for.
Yeah. I like how
so then next. Oh, go ahead.
I was saying I like how a lot of the characters have like that change in their regular personality and their like fighting personality. Like when Zenitsu like falls asleep and stuff, how that's so different from when he's awake.
Right, and which is also then different than when he gets serious, which we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about Baby Zenitsu too, because baby ready. He wasn't ready like this whole thing, and I like that they weren't. I was glad that they weren't training together, because I feel like though they help push each other. I think that it's necessary for them to have like their own separate training arcs because they're in different places in their training and in their skill. So I like that we didn't get like a crazy amount of them up until we did. And same thing with Nezuko. You know, I think that it was somewhat controversial at the beginning when it was announced that Nezuko was only going to be in like 2 episodes. But I was glad about that because I feel like the last season or two was so focused on figuring out how to make her a human again and stuff that we didn't get to put all that time and attention into the other characters. So I thought that it was a good break, and then it was a good way for Tanjiro to focus on his skill as a demon slayer without having, like, of course it's in the back of his mind, but just not in the forefront of his mind all the time. Like, I have to do this for Nezuko. Now we get to see him doing all this because he wants like world peace. That's what I'm gonna call it. World peace. World peace is crazy. Okay. Then next up we have after Mitsuri's training, then Tanjiro heads to train with Iguru, which is the serpent Hashira, to rework his sword skills. And Iguru is waiting for him and is extremely angry. And that is because his baby boo is Mitsuri, which I totally ship them as well. I love them. Finding out their backstory and seeing how they like interact with each other is super cute. And but Iguru don't play.
Not at all. Not at all.
His training was intense for everybody, as you see. Basically, he has to try and like slash through like a maze of his peers without hitting him and
without getting hit.
That too. So what did we think about that episode?
Again, I enjoyed it. Yeah, that was good. But I liked this one because I felt like it was more intense coming off of the Love Hashiras. So it was very like, to me, it like was a little darker. Like hers was very like, you know, lighthearted. This was very more a little serious.
I feel like it would have been serious, but it was only worse because of the letter and how she liked to gush about Tanjiro. And it made it that much worse and that much darker because by the time he popped up, all you saw was like the aura, just like, I'm going to unalive you. Like, uh-oh.
And see, that's what I really liked about this season. Every episode gave you a really good balance of comedy and then like the seriousness of the training. Like it's not all a joke. Like when they had to get in the hot spring after all their training and they're like, this is gonna sting. And stuff was super funny. And the dialogue, the inner monologue that Tanjiro was having, where he's like, I just know that my comrades are crying out for me to not hit them, and stuff was really funny. But then as he gets better, you know, there's a scene where he basically visualizes him in the woods with Iguru while during their fight, and that was super good for me. I really liked that. Watching him progress
over, yeah.
I wish that they kind of explained how long over time the arc actually lasts, like the training actually lasts. Because obviously they can't give us like episode of episode at the one training ground when there's like 7 Hashira. So I would have been interested to know how long it actually took him to move on to each step. I wish that was something that they had focused on, so we could see kind of how quickly he progresses compared to like the average Demon Slayer. That would have been good to know. So
yeah,
because why do I see your face? Huh? Aisha was making a face, so I thought she saw something. She must be reading a comment that we can't see.
We know I'll say it as one as I can. He shits on the average Demon Slayer. The average,
yeah, which is why I wanted to know how quickly he got through it, y'all.
Yeah, because some of them were saying like, "Oh, I haven't finished this, and I've been here for 10 days," and so you know, either he's close to it, or is he like was his like 2 days compared to theirs?
And those are the little things that I feel like. Yeah, those are the little things that I feel like Demon Slayer sometimes skips over, giving us a little bit more detail with things that just they seem minute, but I think that they would appease certain fans. Like for me, those are the type of details that I look into. Like those are the type of questions that I Google. Like how long was Tanjiro training during the Hashira arc? You know? So that's just me, but I'm also a Virgo, so it's probably half to blame. So next up after that, which I don't have a picture of that for whatever reason, he moves on to the Wind Hashira training ground, Sanemi, which is the big brother of Giyu.
Oh my god.
Sorry, Genya. And he has the infinite slashing training. And that thing it starts off hard because no, it actually starts out hilarious because as he's walking to the grounds, Zenitsu comes out half dead and asks him to hide him. And he's like, no, we can go. And then Sanemi catches them, knocks him out, drags him there. And so majority of the training arc, Zenitsu wants to unalive Tanjiro for forcing him back to what he thinks is the definition of torture. Up until I noticed that. Did y'all notice that the trainings they got harder as they went on?
Yeah.
Like at first, I just thought that they were just going to show us each one, but I do believe that the physical strain on the characters became harder as time went on. And so we get to the Wind Hashira, and physically it's strenuous, but then Ginyu is there after healing from the Swordsmith Village arcs drama, and he wants to talk to his big brother. And I don't know, did they ever talk about, I'm trying to remember if they ever talk about it in the show. Do you know the backstory between them two? Because see, I know it because of the manga, but I can't remember if they did it in the show. Not this season, but like in the past.
They didn't go as in depth, I think, as the manga did.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So just a quick like heads up, which I don't know, maybe they'll talk about it in the next one. the next season, but this is a spoiler. Basically, well, no, I'm not gonna tell y'all. It's okay. But there is a I'm not. I'm just not gonna do that for y'all. Y'all can figure it out. But there is a major reason why he has an issue with his brother, why his brother acts the way that he does, the older brother Sanemi acts the way that he does. A very valid reason. It's not unrealistic. And I'll just say this, the main reason is because he cares so much for his brother. And let's just say he's a little tsundere-ish. Let's just go there. That would be the best way to put it. And his brother decides that he wants to talk to him and he wants to help out. And he also finally admits that he has been eating demons to gain the power that he has. And this does not go over well with Big Brother Win Hashira. And he basically tries to poke his eye out, like really take his eyes. And thankfully, thankfully Tanjiro was eavesdropping because he's nosy. If y'all have not known, he's sweet, but Tanjiro is super nosy. And he catches it and he gets him out of the way. And then he takes on Ginya's battle form and says, I'm not going to let you have him. Like, you're not going to hurt my friend. He's trying hard. He's doing his best. And it turns into a big fight that ends with a low-key restraining order. He gets instantly sent, Tanjiro gets sent to the next Hashira training arc without completing. Ginya gets sent away as well, and Sanemi gets in trouble, and there's like a restraining order to where they cannot be within a certain amount of space between each other. And they all get scolded. How was that episode?
The fight was hilarious.
It was.
It was.
And it wasn't just three. It was everybody getting in on it just to keep them separate.
Yeah.
I liked that there was a moment, because the character development that I really like in this show is, first off, you get a lot of it like across the board, but I like Ginya's character so much, where he goes from like this really harsh person that we see in like episode 2 and 3 during the exam, or 3, 4, or 5 of season 1 with the exam, where he literally like almost unalives one of the daughters of Ubuyashiki, and and he just continuously progresses, and you're seeing his softer side now, and the person that he probably would have always been if it wasn't for the circumstances of his family, in the way that he lost his family, and his need to prove himself to his brother and redeem himself and all that stuff. So I like that we're getting a more lighthearted version of him. So I really thought that was really good character development, because Tanjiro just has a way of touching everybody's soul and bringing them into a better place. And it's sweet. I wish I had someone. Well, don't say that. I have people like that in my life, but it's very hard to find people that genuinely just care about others without tying in their own personal stuff into it. So it's a beautiful thing. Tanjiro, you're just so darn cute. Okay. All right, next up. Then Tanjiro moves on over to the Stone Hashira, also known as Daddy. Daddy, Zaddy, Poppy. And let me tell you. In this episode, they have to stand under this heavy ass waterfall and not be basically washed away or crushed by the intense water, which is also freezing cold. And then they also have to move a gigantic boulder, similar to the boulder that Tanjiro is forced to slash in half in season 1. They have to move those, like I think it's like 100 kilometers or something overall. They use a different term for it, but I think it's equivalent to 100 kilometers. And for strength training, basically, because he is the strongest Hashira. It's called muscle amplification training. And we finally get the backstory behind Himajima's. And
It's heartbreaking.
Sheesh. It was something.
Because
If you said what?
I was just like, no, I don't want to give it away, but his backstory to go that hard and then just to have it just off one. Can I trip her? I just want to trip her.
I feel like
I don't.
She's a
right. I don't hold her for that. I really don't.
I do.
Like working with kids, yeah, you want to punt them, but like you have to understand they're not fully emotionally or mentally there to understand that what they did. But his story hit every emotion and every like he went through love, betrayal. He went through everything. He had happiness, and then it like got, you know what I mean? His I would take care of him. So
let me tell you.
And he did all that while not being yes,
right, blind on top of everything. Yes.
Right, and then the thing is, he's like always been blind. So I always thought that maybe he became blind due to something that happened with a demon. Well, in his backstory, he is already technically an adult. He's 18 and he is already blind. And the story is that he is taking care of about 8 to 9 orphans in the middle of nowhere. And he's a lot thinner at the time because food is scarce. And the one rule that he has for all the children, because of all the rumors of the demons, is that they need to be home by nighttime. And so what he does at night is he lights an incense of wisteria, an incense burner filled with wisteria outside, and a kid decides to break the rules. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. This is going to be a spoiler if you don't. Well, it's not a spoiler. It's just a fun fact. Basically, we've already told you guys, like, well, I'm going to just tell y'all, like, y'all have already seen it. And if y'all haven't, I don't know what to tell y'all. In this episode, in the backstory, he ends up, one of the kids decides to not come back home by nighttime and gets caught by a demon. In the process, in order to save himself, he tells the demon that he can have what ends up being the stone Hashira and all of the other children there if he spares his life. So he goes there, he destroys the incense burner and leads them into the house where basically all the kids that he loved, that he thought listened to him and all this stuff like that, did not do what he thought they were going to do. And basically all of them died outside of one. That's how that goes. Mm-hmm. So that is why he has such a strong issue with children, why he's always talking about children in kind of a pessimistic way. Now, fun fact, though, about that particular kid that did all of that. That kid later on does become a demon, which they're not going to show it later on. But because we've already seen this demon ends up fighting Inosuke later on. And his name is Kinjaku? Kinjaku.
I don't even remember the name.
No, Kaigaku. His name is Kaigaku. And so I was like, it's something close to that. So it's Kaigaku. And no, I said he ends up fighting Inosuke. He fights Zenitsu. But he does become a demon later on. And you can tell based off of his hairstyle and his necklace. So that's just a little nugget in there. If you didn't know, he does become a demon. So he did all of that for nothing, basically. But we got the zaddy that is the stone Hashira thanks to him. So thanks, because he was cute as hell. But he was smaller. He was smaller. I like him bigger, but he could have got it then too. He really could have got it then too.
He wasn't smaller. He was malnourished. Let's be honest. That wasn't by choice.
that is still smaller.
But it wasn't by choice.
So was anyone else expecting? I was though when it came to his backstory. I was expecting them to be like some almost like supernatural reason why he's so strong. Because even when he was malnourished, he realizes then how strong he is, which is why he is end up saved by Ubuyashiki and then gets brought into the Demon Slayer Corps. I wouldn't say I wanted it to be supernatural, but it was just that like all of a sudden he had all this power and this strength, and he was like, I didn't know because I was so frail. Like, how did you have that level of strength when you were that malnourished?
But that is what like coming into your power is, though. You find it at your like weakest and most vulnerable. So like having been put in that situation, like that situation would have changed anybody.
Oh yeah, the adrenaline definitely would have hit different.
And so like going through that, I just think it was a lift from like a mental block that was keeping him from being the true daddy that he was meant to be.
Amen. You said it. You said it, Shar. You said
it. I watched this episode specifically twice.
I did too, girl. I did too.
For him.
I did too. And I'm gonna be honest, I can't wait till the full dub is out, because the one thing, because I'm not a dub over sub or sub over dub person unless it is like a heavy fight oriented show, because you have to like balance going back and forth. And so I always feel like I have to, when it's in sub, I have to watch it once just to read it and catch things, but then I have to watch it again so I can fully immerse myself in the fight. And so which I'm not even a huge fan of the dub of Demon Slayer, but I would be glad once I can just fully focus on the fight, because I have to continuously watch it. Like, I replay scenes so many times. An episode that is 20 minutes ends up being 40 for me, because I'd be wanting to really watch the fight. You should see me with Windbreaker. It's insane. I'd be like, oh, that move was cool. I would have redid that like 4 times.
I love Windbreaker too.
Yeah, we're gonna get into Windbreaker probably next episode, next show. And yeah, you the only person I keep telling you slipping.
I just caught up on like 2 or 3 other anime.
No, but you catching up on old stuff. You need to catch up on what's current.
No, because it was Demon Slayer. It was My Hero. I just watched Kaiju number 8. Before that, it was Solo Leveling. So I'm still on top of One Piece. Don't do that. Don't do me like that.
Yeah, see, you can pause on One Piece. It ain't going nowhere.
I know you lying.
It ain't going nowhere.
No.
Anyways, let's stay focused because we got one more episode. And that is Big Bad episode 8. It's called Hashira Unites. The Hashiras Unite, or Hashiras United. And y'all,
right.
This episode it's listed as 40 minutes. It's close to maybe like 30 though, because they do a large amount of credits at the end. But I don't even know if I want to tell y'all what happens. Okay, basically, Muzan at the end of the last episode, episode 7, he is officially found where the Ubuyashiki mansion is. Mm-hmm. And he has decided to show up smooth criminal style. And so that's how the last episode ends. And then it starts. It basically redoes the whole scene. Mm-hmm. Leads in. We get to Ubuyashiki. He knows that he's coming. He's waiting for him. And they have a nice little chat. That basically gives Muzan the realization that even if Ubuyashiki dies, it doesn't mean anything, because his kids get to live on and his legacy will live on. And if anything, it'll motivate the Hashiras even more to finish this battle for him. If Muzan dies, everybody, all the demons die, and you don't have any legacy, so you'll never be immortal, because being immortal really is about the legacy that you leave and not just you being here forever. You're here forever because of the seeds that you plant in others. And it's a really good touching scene. Well, it's not, I wouldn't say a touching scene. It's more of like it's a groundbreaking scene, because this is the first time that they have interacted with each other. They have been at beefing with each other for 1,000 years. You find out that they are actually from the same bloodline. And yeah. Do we want to spoil it? Let's just spoil it. Do we want to spoil it? Is it too soon to spoil it?
Wait, when did the last episode air?
Last week? Or was it the week before? I don't know. Where's my Crunchyroll?
Hold on.
Oh, I can tell you. I have it up. I'm tripping. It came out June 30th.
It's been a week.
It's been a week.
They should have seen it by now. Let's go for it. Go for it. I'm gonna be.
Yeah, well, we're letting y'all know. Y'all can come back after we say it. Basically, he resonates himself to allowing Muzan to take his life in the process. But actually, before we get to the spoiler, let's talk about the fact that an emergency raven goes out to everybody, or crow goes out to all of the Hashiras and lets them know that the mansion is under attack. What did y'all feel about that build-up scene? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I cried. The minute I saw all the Hashiras like lose it, like running, and like you see the despair in their eyes, Master, I started crying. And that is rare. And I started crying.
I was there with you because you saw like the urgency in all of their faces, their steps. They're trying to beat whatever's going down at the mansion. They want to make sure they're there in time to stop it. So everybody's moving as fast as they can. Everybody's freaking out. And I'm sitting right there on edge with them.
I felt the same way that I felt when Tanjiro had that moment with Nezuko the season before. Like where you just see the despair in his eyes. Like you see them stressed out, and they go to a flashback scene of the Hashiras talking before the Hashira training arc, where the Wind Hashira suggests that there is at least 2 Hashiras on guard at any given time. And the Stone Hashira goes to say that that is not going to happen. He wished that it could, but he has denied him that. Every time he is asked, he said, I've been a Hashira since I was 19, and he's never granted that request. And then it is also revealed that no leader of the Ubuyashiki clan has ever had a personal guard. They refused to use the Hashiras in that way to protect themselves. So everybody is coming from every which way trying to get there. Shar, it looks like you wanted to say something about the emotion, because it's clear that me and Sunkissed Waifu cried.
Not. I didn't cry. You did feel the emotion.
You heartless bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
No, because I cry off a lot of things. But my thing is like, if I already, I mean, because I did read some of it, but if I already know like what I think is going to happen, I don't get as emotional. So like after, like while they're running and like stuff is playing out of like what he told, Daddy, it things like were already spinning in my head, and then it clicked later on, so I didn't get as emotional. So that's why I was like, I wasn't as like torn up about it. And then when it was like revealed, like how he, did.
You can say it. We're spoiling it.
Okay, so how he like planned his death. That was like, Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
But that took me a second to realize that he did that. Because initially when I was watching it, I was like, I know Muzan didn't just blow up everybody. I know that's not just what happened.
Mm-mm.
And then I kept watching. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
They got a whole
came around
Muzan.
That's genius. Like that is
good. Because he knew that after all this time, there was no way that Muzan wasn't going to come for him himself. And what I like, see, it wasn't because I read up to that point in the, like, I go in and out of Demon Slayer's manga all the time because I love being shocked by certain things in the anime, but I also still be nosy and I be wanting to know. So I already knew how this was going to end, but to see it, how they did it, like to where they were so close yet so far away, to where they couldn't reach it in time, and they're all running, and the emotions, and right before all of that happens, you know, Obishiki says, I've been blessed to be loved by the demon core, it's in particular by the Hashiras. And so then you see them running and stuff, and I was just it hit different. But go ahead, because you're about to say something.
I will say what got me a little like, lump in the throat was that whole like speech they were giving to each other, and then his children playing with the things outside. I was like, it was like his wife, like that's a family unit right there. His wife stayed there, didn't run off with the kids. He didn't send her off. They knew what their mission was. They were all, that's a family.
Yeah. we ride together, we die together. Like, that is what Dominic Toretto be preaching right here.
Oh Lord.
The Ubiyashiki family.
You are nothing about family.
And another fun fact, they're in like the lore itself, they're more than twins. They're actually like quintuplets.
Oh, his children?
Quintuplets?
Yeah, but they would die off, right?
Yeah, but some of them would die off over time and stuff like that. Because technically, I think nobody was supposed to live over the age of 30 in their family, in their bloodline. And so that's why they kept staying with priests, which kind of drew their life out longer and stuff. But some of them died sooner than others and all types of stuff. Okay. But yes, so then, as you heard, Ubiyashiki planned everything, and he blows the freaking mansion up right as Muzan is about to take his life. And let me tell you, when we mentioned animation at the beginning of this episode, I tell go back and watch this episode right as it is blowing up from the aerial view of the mansion. I thought that it was a real show. Like, it looked real. It did not look like animation at all. It was so good. It was done so well. The animation of this whole thing. When he walking all slow, smooth, criminal wise in the smoke, that looked
brown
cool.
penny loafers. He would
He would have pulled me real quick. And then he opened his mouth, and his voice just, I don't know. It's clear that the voice actor been working, because he sounded sexier now than he did when he first came on the scene. And he was fine when he first came on the scene. I was like, oh, okay.
Them little brown penny loafers, just that thing, and then it's the echo.
Let me tell you. If I felt like being in a suit at DreamCon, I would do him, but it's too hot. It's too hot. But yeah, he did that.
Being in a suit at DreamCon, that's a different story.
Yo, if you dress up as Muzan at DreamCon, find the waifus, we gonna spend some time with you.
Please and thank you.
That's all I'm gonna say. We're gonna spend some... Yeah, but you gotta have the brown penny loafers.
Bring it all together.
Yeah. So overall, it was this episode for me was and we're not even done with the episode. After that, everything's burning. Muzan regenerates as Muzan does, and he did it pretty quickly. And then you see him breaking things down, understanding some stuff. Then a demon art gets released. He gets trapped, and then the real fight begins. Because out of nowhere, Big Daddy, actually out of nowhere, Tamio shows up with her blood demon, slides something in his chest and says, "This is the stuff that's gonna make you human." And he's like, "That's impossible." And she was like, "Well, we gonna see now, aren't we?" And then all of a sudden,
up close and personal with it,
right? And I like that because you get a little bit of her story of the fact that like her kids died or whatever. But I think that was the first time that we really got how deep it was that like she was the one that killed her family. Like she was turned into it. Like we know that she loses her kids and her husband, but we find out that she wanted the power to be a demon so she could see her family grow up, like her kids grow up and stuff. And she ended up being the person that killed her husband and her children. And that is why she, out of despair, she continued to kill for many years until she had enough and decided to change course and do the right thing. So shout out to you, girl. You still fire. And then she calls out Big Daddy Hashira, Big Stone Daddy Hashira.
And this man, Daddy. Oh,
what is that thing called? I forgot. Like the ball and chain thing.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. But
I don't know, but the scene, I liked that scene because it was reminiscent of Uzui's scene where he is with his swords, which also has a chain connection, and he's in the red light district, and everything around him is burning, and he's like ready, and he's coming. Like there was a still shot where it looked almost exactly like it. It looked really good. Then all the Hashira, he knocks off his head. Muzan comes back. So we find out that he cannot be killed by knocking off his head, which, come on, that would just be too easy, right? And then all the other Hashira show up. Now, it appears that nobody has ever seen Muzan outside of Tanjiro. So he notices him and he's like, it's a hand axe with a spiked flail. Thank you. And we missed you. I was just telling somebody that you always come to our shows. And I know that you've probably been wondering where the hell we've been for the past couple of weeks. And all the Hashira show up, and the Stone Hashira lets everybody know that it is Muzan, and you can tell by their reactions. They're like, "This is him, huh? Muzan?" And then Tanjiro whips out his sword like a samurai and says, "Muzan!" And then they go in for the try to kill. Everybody does a form of a breathing style, and then all of a sudden they get dropped into the Infinity Castle, and the demon slayers all over the world get dropped into the Infinity Castle.
Yep.
And I'm gonna just say at that point it ends, because now he said that y'all thought y'all had me cornered, y'all didn't, and so we gonna get the rest.
No.
In the 3-part,
baby, before you get to that, Zenitsu. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Let's not forget baby Zenitsu. Okay. So in one of the episodes, Zenitsu gets a message from a crow. We still don't know what the message says, but he instantly gets extremely serious. We don't hear from him in a while. Tanjiro goes to see him before he leaves, and he don't really want to talk, but the next time we see his face is serious and covered in blood, and he talking about how he got to do what he got to do. And the next time we see him is when he drops into the Infinity Castle. Everybody drops differently. Inosuke, you already know he ready, he on go. He was about to eat his little fish. He popped in, he goes, ha ha ha. And he puts his hat on. He puts his head on, grabs the swords, he ready. Other people holding on to people, like, hold on. People falling in different ways and all types of stuff. And then we see Zenitsu. And if y'all know, he has a tendency to get really serious when he in the zone. This man got his eyes closed. He falling. he puts his sword in his sheath, and then he opened his eyes, and he is so serious, and you're like, oh shit, it's about to go down. It's about to go down. So if y'all ain't excited about no other character in the Infinity Castle arc, be excited for him, because I promise you he gonna do some things. That's all I'm gonna tell y'all. Go read the manga if you want to know before the movie come out. Also, just to let y'all know, the Infinity Castle arc will be a 3-part trilogy that comes out in theaters. So when we find out the actual date, we will let you guys know, because we're obviously gonna cover it.
Absolutely.
This says, I love the episode. I'm hyped for the final season. Need to see the GOAT Inosuke put in work. He going to. One thing I can say is nobody is gonna be disappointed with like the final showing of any of the characters. But if you don't already know, this is not always a happy story. If y'all just haven't noticed by the past 5 seasons, not everybody is gonna make it out of here, y'all. And y'all should just know that. Like, I don't think that's a spoiler. I feel like that should just be based off of how the rest of the seasons make it. Some of our favorites may or may not make it. And that's unfortunate. And I feel bad about it. How do we feel now that we're like, how many years in? 2019 to 2024? I don't know. You do 5, 6 years. Now it's been about 6 years since the show started. And now we have one more arc left. How do we feel?
All good things must come to an end.
Right.
That is a fact.
Except for One Piece.
Which may mean that it's not good.
It's fantastic. It's above good. We're not going to get into that today.
Let me stop messing with you. Because I feel like people think because I talk so much shit to you that I don't like One Piece. I do like One Piece. Like, I just be messing with her because it's so long. My only thing about Demon Slayer is that I was hoping we got to see more of the Hashiras. I agree. But I think that's why. But at the end of the day, the show is not about the Hashiras. They're not the main characters. So I'm not surprised that they didn't do that. It kind of reminds me of like Lemillion in My Hero. You know, he was hyped up. Then you see him. Then he's like cool for a minute, and then he loses his powers, and then it's like, we'll see you later. And then you don't see him for a while, but we know he got his powers back. Like,
right. But still,
it's shonen. I assure you, half of the things that people want to claim as spoilers are not spoilers when you're in the shonen genre. It's not. The only one that breaks that rule is Akame got killed.
Oh my god.
Yeah, don't ruin it though. But just know, it's like Game of Thrones. Ain't nobody safe.
Somebody should have warned me before I watched it. That's all I'm gonna say.
That would have been then you would have had no reason to watch Akame got killed if somebody would have warned you.
No, because somebody warned me about Goblin Slayer, but I still watched it.
Yeah, but that's different. That's so different.
Warnings help. That's all I'm saying.
No, because you need to form the connections with their characters for all of that stuff to mean anything anyway. If you would have known ahead of time what was going to happen, then you wouldn't have built the connection with them the same way.
You don't have to spoil it for me, but just be like, hey, watch your feelings or keep your feelings in check. I would have been like, okay, cool. No.
What's the fun of that?
That's because you're a deviant.
How does that make me a deviant? Anyways, so how do we feel now that it's coming to an end? Like, do we feel like it's giving us everything that we want and we wanted? And because I really don't have any doubt that the Infinity Castle arc is going to be fire. It is the best arc for a reason. It's the final arc for a reason. I'm not worried about that. One thing I can say is Demon Slayer has done an excellent job at not disappointing the fans when they drop a season. Are some seasons a little bit slower than others or something like that? Sure, because that's just how the story is written. But I do believe that we're gonna get everything that we need to do, and we are gonna get closure. So I'm not worried about that aspect of it. I think we're gonna enjoy it thoroughly. But are we happy to see it go? Are we sad to see it go?
Not happy to see it go.
It's like bittersweet.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's bittersweet because you watch things for so long and you always do get like used to characters or attached to characters and stuff like that. So it's always sad to see like any kind of media kind of play off or play its end, but it had a good run.
That it did.
I agree. It did have a good run, and I'm a little mad at myself because a lot of my Demon Slayer cosplays I didn't get until like last season and this season. So now they're gonna be like, I wouldn't say irrelevant, but they're just gonna be older cosplays compared to like having them ahead of time.
They
These
transcend
bangs.
time.
No, cosplays do transcend time.
What's her name?
I mean,
Inuyasha. So you're good.
with the
True.
amount of money people spend on it, it better transcend time.
Oh, baby, what's great is the best thing about anime becoming more mainstream is now anime characters for Halloween. Because when it came to cosplay, even then, like when it was Halloween, you didn't always dress as an anime character because people wouldn't know who you were. So you stuck with like the things that people knew. But now, oh yeah, all of these gonna be Halloween costumes in the next like 2 years and stuff. People gonna at least recognize it. So
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. But let me tell y'all, we're about to do something quick because if I don't do it quick, y'all gonna see me take this wig off before this show ends. Because my head is killing me, which is why I keep adjusting it. I'm sorry, y'all. It's stressing me out. It's stressing me out.
It looks
If
good.
y'all don't know, my hair is orange. So, okay. What we are going to do really quickly is we are going to rank the Hashiras, our personal ranking of the Hashiras. And this includes all of the Hashiras that we've seen. This is not just the ones that are still here. So from left to right, we got the Stone Hashira, the Mist Hashira, the Love Hashira, the Fire Hashira, the Water Hashira, the Insect Hashira, the Flashy McFlash, the Sound Hashira, the Wind Hashira, and the Serpent Hashira. How are we ranking them? And then I want y'all to tell me why y'all rank them that way. So just 1 through 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because I think we're down to like 7 now, technically.
We are.
And this doesn't have to be for power. This could be just like your favorites for whatever reason.
Oh, so just name them? Are we writing it down or naming it?
I'm writing it down so I can say it. Because see, my favorite has changed over time. Y'all gonna be shocked by mine, I think. Is it fair for me to make the Stone Hashira my number 1 just because he's fine as hell?
Nope, because he's my number 1.
That was my man, okay?
Look here, I'm not about to fight y'all over who is and is not y'all man. Because he is my man. It's not daddy. And he's blind, which means he's real. Never mind. Let me get back to my ranking.
Right, focus.
Whoopsie.
Oh, this is tough, man.
I
should have did this ahead of time. I'm not prepared. Daquan laughing at me because I said I was gonna take this wig off. Yo, my head hurt. One day I am gonna do that. One day I am just gonna like take my wig off. I'm gonna take my wig off and my cosplay makeup off, like on a show. One day, just be like, just look at all the hard work I did. I think, which way do I want to go with this? I think they're like tied. This is crazy.
Okay.
This is nasty work.
We would have done better doing a blind ranking for this.
Mm-hmm.
Really? But if I told you
Yeah.
it was a Hashira, then you know which Hashiras are there anyway. That's why I just decided to do it this way.
I know, but blind ranking is 1 through 10 or 1 through 9. Boom. Okay, this one. Bam. We put it in order. If we like it, we like it. If we don't, you know how blind rankings go.
Yeah, but the whole point of a blind ranking is that you don't know who's going to be on it. You know all the Hashiras.
But we don't know when they're coming up, though.
Right, but if you know that your favorite is the Stone Hashira and you know that the Stone Hashira is going to be there, then you'll automatically save number 1.
That's right. Now,
Girl, it is literally the same thing.
Frame,
There's
and
no.
I'm like, I'll put that as my number 2, but I don't know when the other one. Like, you can't keep them all empty, and you might change your mind because you're torn between 2 of them. So, fix your face.
I'm thinking. I ain't even listening to you anymore. I'm trying to figure out where I'm putting you. I'm trying to figure out where I'm putting all these people. Yeah, this is ugly. I don't think this is true. Because some of them are like tied.
Well, you're gonna have to figure it out.
No flower.
Huh?
No flower Hashira.
Who is the flower Hashira?
The insect, the one the insect girl hangs out with.
Oh,
she's not a Hashira. The girl with the flower head thing, she's not a Hashira.
Oh, they call her flower Hashira.
Though.
I think she may turn into the flower Hashira, but unless you're talking about her, I think her sister was the flower Hashira.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're only doing current Hashiras outside of obviously, basically all the ones that we see in Demon Slayer, because obviously there were Hashiras.
So
that's why I put the photo up so y'all knew exactly what Hashiras I was using.
Okay.
So we're just using them.
All right.
Yeah, her older sister was the flower Hashira before she died. But we never even see her. We only see her in a flashback. Y'all done?
Yep.
Well, you go first then.
Okay, so you want me to go?
You going from 9 to 1?
9 to 1.
Let's go from least to favorite. Least favorite to favorite, or favorite to least favorite? Which one y'all want to do?
I can save the best for last because
let's save the best for last. Let's go.
All right, number 9, water. Hashira. 8, serpent. 7, insect. 6, love. 5, flame. 4, mist. 3, wind. 2, sound. And my number 1 is the stone Hashira.
Your whole list like threw me off. Give me a reason why you put it that right, because you made your face too. Give us the reason why you did each one for us. Why is number 9 your water? Because that's crazy.
I mean, he's cool and all, but he's like not my top guy.
Why not? I just want to know your reasoning behind like how you made your decision.
Oh, some of it was looks, some of it was power. And some of it was just like, I don't even care. Like I care for him, but I don't. You're welcome. It's okay. He's cool people's, but he's not at the top of my list.
Yeah, Giyu at 9. That's why, like, she started off her list, and I was like, what?
I sure
Okay.
did. I worked my way up.
So, okay, so give your list one more time from 9 to 1, please.
9 to 1. Hold on. Unlock phone. Jesus. 9 is water. 8 is serpent. 7 is insect. 6 is love. 5 is flame. 4 is mist. 3 is wind. 2 sound, and 1 stone. And I think my top 2 are like self-explanatory.
Okay. All right.
Because we have
I'm
Big
sorry,
Daddy
you done?
and we have Daddy.
Yeah, I think I wrote someone's name twice. Hold on.
I'm just double checking mine.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, some of them are like tied for different reasons.
You better wrap it up and say I can't.
That's what my mama tells me.
The heck? Who did I miss?
I mean,
Oh,
and not gonna lie, I swapped water and mist at the last minute. So
see, and I really like mist, but not more than water. Okay, I think I'll go. I think I'm done.
You think, or you know?
Oh, I see what I did.
Okay, so my list is from 9 to 1. Number 9 is insect. Number 8 is flame. Number 7 is wind. Number 6 is love. Number 5 is mist. Number 4 is serpent. Number 3 is sound. Number 2 is stone. And number 1 is water. And so my reasoning. So my reasoning behind that is Giyu was the first Hashira that we met. And I've just loved his like passive, kind of like unbothered, I low-key dislike you character since day one.
Ugh, yes.
Yeah, I love an Aggie King. So yeah, give me an emo king any day of the week. Like, because I much rather have that than an overly emotional king. So I'm here for that. So I just love him. Like I have his sword. He was instantly a favorite for me. I like when he's on the scene, and I love his voice actor. So that's why he was one. Stone, it's kind of self-explanatory. If water was not on here, Stone would be my number one, because not only is he the strongest, but he fine as hell. And I don't know, like blind eyes, which is crazy. It's a crazy thing to say, but I love blind characters. Like I can't think of like one blind character that I don't like. So I do. And if you notice, when I do cosplays or whatever, a lot of times I do the blind eyes. So 3 was sound, because come on, he's the second finest on the game, and he's funny. He could have been lower just because he's a man whore, and I don't like to share, but he's just, to me, he had one of the best arcs. The Entertainment District arc was fire. The fight was fire. So I gave him 3. I gave Serpent 4 because I really like him. I think he's super interesting, and I am going to be going back to the manga to find out more of his backstory, because he's so interesting to me. So it was I could have flipped him and Muchiro, which is the Mist Hashira, because I liked Muchiro's backstory. I think he's cute, and as he opens up more and more, I like him more and more. The Love Hashira, she's hilarious, and I like that she was able to embrace who she was, you know, with her backstory of having to be like everybody else and have her black hair and all this diner hair so she can appease her family and all that stuff like that. I have a personal connection to her, because as someone that is wild and crazy as I am, and someone that literally calls herself a misunderstood masterpiece, I have had to, for a long time, live up to certain expectations that I didn't always want to. and be a reflection of my family and stuff like that. So now that I'm grown, I be doing whatever I want, which is why I currently have orange hair and multiple piercings and tattoos. And so, yeah, I love her for that. And she's hilarious, and she like to eat, and I love a girl that like to eat. Then after that, I have the Win Hashira, which honestly, he kind of just fell in there. I sympathize with his backstory or whatever, but he's kind of an ass, and
that's why I like.
And his eyes are kind of crazy. Like I can't get behind like the eyes with all the bloodshot eyes. It's too much. And then Flame, I enjoyed Rengoku, but you just don't get enough of Rengoku for me to put him over the other ones now. Like if this was before we got to the Hashira training arc, or maybe even 2 arcs prior, the Rengoku would be so much higher. And I still love him. And then number 9 is Insect, because she doesn't leave a whole, like at least in the show, she doesn't leave a major impression on me. Now she does based off of what she does in the manga, because I know what she does in the manga. But that's it. What?
Shar, you up?
Yeah, so 9, I did Insect because like she cute and everything. 8 is Mist.
Wait, what's that again?
Like she cute and everything.
You was like, you made her because she cute and everything, but that's it.
She don't hit.
That's you say Insect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
8 did Mist. I mean, I like him. He's decent. 7 is Wind, because I love a good Bakugo character, but it's just sometimes it's just too much.
He's too much.
And like it's like,
because I love a Bakugo character. Bakugo is my favorite and my hero, but in this, it's like too much. It's like borderline douchey.
Yeah, I'm over it.
Not even. He's just misunderstood.
You can be misunderstood.
He can be misunderstood, and yeah, and not be a total dick.
That's a misunderstanding.
6 Serpent. He kind of like them quiet boys you don't mess with, and I dig that. Like you know what I mean. He like he got it on him, but he ain't got to be showy about it.
Right.
Honestly, before you go on, I just want to say I am flipping because I forget. I don't know why I put it like that, but Flame is higher than Wind for me. I don't know why I did that. So I'm just flipping the 2. So Flame's at 7.
And then 5, I got Miss Love, because she is that girl. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. She's cute. She she got the style down, titties popping. She's great. 4, Giyu Water. Him I could say is a misunderstood character. I could say he's misunderstood. He's one of those ones where like I feel like I relate to him probably a lot, because he's just like, you know what I mean? He's been through a lot. People don't understand him really until they like really get to know him, and he dope. Then Rengoku, number 3. I just think when the time we did have with him was just special, and I will never take away from that experience. 2 is Tengen, because he's a daddy, and his style is unmatched. His confidence is peak, and his I mean, you can tell even with 3 wives, he still knows each of them. He pays attention. If he gonna do something, he gonna call you and make sure. Like he's all there. He's attentive. And then of course, my number 1 is Daddy, because I too do like any character with like any kind of eye issue, blind, covers their eye. That is my bag. That's my thing. I love them. and his just backstory, his strength. He's fine. He, you know what I mean? He's a praying man, and we all need those every now and then. And
every now and then. Not all the time, just every now and again.
You don't want him to, you know.
You don't need it. Yeah, you don't need it to be like
you need the stone, okay, to balance the you know what I mean. But yeah, he's my number one.
Yeah, we're come on. A real girly loves her stones. Do all of y'all got a thing for the strong blind characters? Yes.
Yeah. Listen, when they're blind, other senses and everything else is heightened. They are just they're just better.
Yeah, they are. They're just better.
Strong, and he's, you know, he could pick. Yeah. I know he could pick me up, like.
and that's what we need in our lives. Yeah. So when it comes to Rengoku, like the more that I'm sitting here, I want to put him higher because I loved our time with him too. I just don't know. But it was super fast. You know what I mean? Like, I love who he is. And just like I said, if it wasn't for the fact that we got to find out about all these other characters and their personalities and stuff, he would easily be like top 3 or he'd be top 4 because it would still be Giyu, then Stone, then Sound, and then it would probably be Flame. That's the only other way that I could put that. But I felt like that was being, it's kind of like people that like just never let go of Ace. And no, I'm not doing a dig for One Piece. I'm just saying, like, you know, you only had this brief moment of Ace and the character that he was. And so though you love him, like, are you always going to put him above characters that have been there, that you've experienced all these other things with, as well as like character development and character growth? Like, can you put Ace over Law? Like, you could if you want to, but I just feel like that would be a slap in the face to the growth that we've seen from Law, from where he began, his backstory, and then his continued growth through One Piece. So that's why I had to rate him low.
Really?
Huh?
So we're just naming donut characters?
Oh, you know what? Well, yeah. Well, yes, because once you die, there is no more of your story for the most part.
But you get like a little here and there. You didn't say what's his name? Naruto's Jiraiya. You didn't say Jiraiya. Jiraiya didn't get a hole put through him, but Ace did.
But it was. But I didn't go for the donut aspect. What I was thinking about was that a character that has fans that are like diehard, like, this is forever my favorite character, and we didn't get a whole lot of him. Even though there's so many other characters that we've gotten arcs behind. So it wasn't the donut aspect. And don't get me wrong, I love Ace. Like, I will be doing an Ace cosplay at some point, but once the stomach's a little smaller. But you know.
Donut, no donut.
Hey, I like donuts. Glaze me, please. Krispy Kreme. Thank you.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Yeah,
okay. Oh, I didn't even think of it that way, but I'm with you when you're right. I'm with you when you're right. I was not going that direction, but I'm cool with it. Okay. So that's all we got for y'all. If you haven't watched Demon Slayer season 5, it is now complete. You can find it on Crunchyroll, so go check that out. If you don't want any future spoilers, the manga is complete, so if you don't want to wait for the 3-part movie that we're going to get, then you can read the manga. It's out there, and I'm pretty sure now it's free because it's been done since 2020. It's been over since 2020. So everybody, next week we will be having a show next week. Can't tell you what it's about. But we will be here. I'm pretty sure it's gonna tie into, because now this season has ended for most shows, so we will probably be doing a recap of the best and worst of this season and getting you ready for the next season of anime that comes in. So, but we'll keep you guys posted. Everybody tell them, you know the drill. Let's get up out of here.
All right, everyone. On Facebook, it is Aisha Morgan. Everywhere else, TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, that thing formerly known as Twitter, it will be sunkiss_waifu. And the next time you'll see me will probably be with these lovely ladies. If not, on Make It Make Sense. You know, I like to guest appear with my nemesis from time to time.
And I am a Shar of Honey. I go by Honey Shar, or switch that, whichever. You can find me at Shar of Honey on all platforms. That's Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. That's a Shar of Honey, like a jar of honey, only sweeter.
And I am Ebony Moonbeam. You can find me at Ebony_Moonbeam on all social media platforms. You can find me on Wednesdays at the Blurred Cartels Round Table. We are in the middle of a Jeopardy tournament. So the waifus, which are the reigning champs. I was about to say tramps. We're that too. Champs. We have not been called in yet to defend our title. So you may not see us on this week's episode, but that is where you could typically find me on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Then right after that on Keep It 99 Media's YouTube page, you can find me for casual conversations where I am what I like to call a debaucherous whore because I live up to that gimmick. If you want to see one of the most unhinged podcasts ever, be sure to tune into that right after Roundtable. And then you can also find me sometimes on Saturdays when I am rating the Make It Make Sense podcast as well. Sunkiss Waifu and I were just there this past Saturday. So go to YouTube and find them and you will see us. We were there. Mm-hmm. And I forgot, tomorrow you will see me on Keep It 99 Media's House of the Dragon review. We do that every Monday at 8 p.m. So we will be discussing that once I get done with this. I will be watching that show. And of course, you can find all three of us here on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time at the Waifu Views podcast. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of that. We are all going to DreamCon. So you will see us live and in color. We will be going live from DreamCon. You will get a lot of content from us. We have plans to do some thingity things. So be on the lookout for all of that. And we will see you guys. We hope that you had a fun 4th of July. Check out the Kendrick Lamar Not Like Us video. It's out there. And we gonna get out of here. So see y'all.